I wanted to take a moment today and share with you why I wrote my book, Breaking Generational Bondage. The bottom line here is that I wrote it because I needed it. It's really that simple. For most of my life, I had heard Christians talk about generational curses or generational patterns or generational sin. I heard it in sermons, sometimes at conferences, read it in books, conversations with friends or pastors. And I kept hearing it. And honestly, something about it really didn't sit right with me because I could see the patterns. I could feel the weight that they had, but the curse explanation didn't match what I was reading in Scripture. And it was really confusing to me. And I really didn't understand the difference between them. And I think that's a big problem in the church today because it really leaves some potential confusion and fear that really doesn't need to be there. So when I went to find a book that would help me think through this, a book that took both Scripture and the realities of families being shaped, a book that didn't lean on fear of generational curses, but also a book that didn't just dismiss that, hey, patterns are real and they get passed down from generation to generation. And I couldn't find that book. I found books on one side or the other that sat somewhere in the middle, and that took, oh, frick. This is a Testimony 7, take 3, and 3, 2, 1. I want to share with you a little bit today about why I wrote my book, Breaking Generational Bondage. And the bottom line is that it's simple. I wrote it because I needed it. And for most of my life, I had heard Christians talk about generational curses, generational patterns, generational sin. I'd hear it in sermons, conferences, certain books, conversations with friends or pastors. And I kept hearing it, and honestly, something really didn't sit right with me about this. I could see the patterns, I could feel the weight, but the curse explanation did not match what I was reading in Scripture. And there's a lot of confusion in the church today because there's so much potential fear around this generational curses that doesn't really need to be there. And it really bothered me. And so when I went to find a book that could help me really think through it, a book that took both Scripture and the realities of families being shaped, a book that didn't just lean into fear of generational curses, but also a book that did not dismiss the reality that there's patterns that get passed down from generation to generation. And I personally could not find that book. I found books on one side or the other. I did not find the book that sat in the middle, that took Galatians 3:13 seriously and also took inherited patterns seriously. So I started writing it. It started as a journal. And then I wanted it to be something a little deeper. And so it kind of became this development of a devotional for myself first, but then that I was also trying to potentially write for other men. And I never intended to publish it or sell it. That was never my goal. It was just for me to help me understand. Because I needed to think it through on paper. I needed to understand what Scripture actually said about curses versus patterns. I needed to understand how Christ's finished work intersected with the patterns I could see in my own life and in my own family line, my own family heritage. And as I wrote, something began to happen. The work of writing it became the work of understanding it. And then the work of understanding it became the work of being changed by it. And by the time the manuscript was something that could be read by other people, I had already become a different man than the one who started writing it. And that's really why I wrote the book. Not because I have it all figured out. I don't. Because I needed to figure it out. And once I did, I could not stay quiet about what I had found out. Because if I needed that book, I realized that other people did as well. Christian husbands, Christian fathers, Christian mothers, men who are tired or women who are tired of repeating what they were given. People who want to break what should have stopped generations ago. People who want to plant something different for their children. That is who this book is for. Do you have patterns that you are currently struggling with? Do you have struggles in your life that could actually be patterns that need breaking? If that is you, you need to find my book on Amazon and on Barnes & Noble. And I hope it serves you the way the writing of it really helped me.